Today is finally part 2 of a very fun fairy tale tag collaboration. Hello everybody and welcome back. Today I am doing part 2 of a fairy tale tag collaboration that I did with Melanie over at christianYAbooksandmore. I created the fairy tale tag, which you guys can go check out, and Melanie created the Malanie Dickerson Fairy Tale tag. Her tag is more focused on the characters and the books by Malanie Dickerson in the Hagenheim Fairy Tale retelling series. It is pretty much Malanie Dickerson month here on mine and Melanie's channel, as her latest book, The Beautiful Pretender, was released and I was part of a LitFuse blog tour. And I've said enough on my channel, you guys can go check out the videos for all of that, and the giveaway is still on. There is a Kindle involved, there's a Funko Pop involved, a Amazon gift card, and a copy of the book. So the giveaway is still on and it's awesome, guys. Go check it out and go enter. So on with the questions. Melanie has done the books of the Hagenheim Fairy Tale retellings and related a question to them. Question number 1 is the Healer's Apprentice. Pick a character who should have been good at something but failed. I chose Samantha Moore from Dear Mr. Knightley by Catherine Ray. Samantha is a very talented writer. She loves fiction, she loves classic literature, especially Jane Austen, Dear Mr. Knightley, and she is given an opportunity essentially for free to go to a prestigious journalism school. She is trying to impress professors with her writing, but lacks the heart and the emotion that really draws people to a story. She has all the talent and she's been equipped and given this opportunity to do so, but fails over and over again until she finally understands why and how to put in the heart into the stories that she is writing. Book number 2 was The Merchant's Daughter. Pick a character that defends the supposed villain. And I chose The Last Olympian by Rick Riordan. This is the fifth book in the Percy Jackson and the Olympians series. And the reason I picked this one is there is a character that kind of is drawn over and taken over to the evil side, but a lot of the characters still believe that there is good in him and there is a chance to save him. And I really like, it's kind of that Star Warsiness where there's still a chance to save Vader. The character's been drawn over to the dark side, but there's still a chance that maybe you can save him. And so you have a lot of characters who are staying loyal to him, who are looking for ways to save him, and who still really care about him. And I really liked that, and I really liked that premise, and it really surprised me in the end. So I really enjoyed that premise in this book, and because throughout most of the series I hated him up until this book. Question number 3 is The Fairest Beauty. Pick a book with a reluctant hero, and I chose Mr. Bilbo Baggins from the Shire. Bilbo was reluctant to leave his cozy little hobbit hole and go on a journey with a bunch of dwarves and a very strange wizard, but he does and ends up having the adventure of his life. So at first Bilbo doesn't want to join this company, but when he does, he ends up having the adventure of a lifetime. Question number 4, The Captive Maiden. Pick a character that you either loved and everyone hated, or you hated and everybody loved. I didn't necessarily hate a character that everybody loved, but I'm going to go along the route of a character I didn't like and everybody liked, and that is Scarlet from the Lunar Chronicles. I wasn't a huge fan of Scarlet. Scarlet was a character that took a while to grow on me, and I didn't really start to like her in the story until Winter and until I just read the novella Stars Above, because I got more of a backstory of all these characters. So I ended up kind of liking Scarlet a little bit more after Winter and Stars Above, but up until then I wasn't a fan of her, didn't really care about the parts that had her in it. I cared more about the other characters, and I feel like a lot of people really liked this cast of characters and this ensemble of characters and kind of liked everybody equally, but yeah, Scarlet wasn't my favorite out of the Lunar Chronicles ensemble. Question number 5 is The Princess Spy. Pick a book that either someone ruined for you or you spoiled for somebody else. So this just happened actually last night. One of the girls in my youth group is starting the Harry Potter series, and I'm ahead of it before she is, and she had a favorite character, and I totally spoiled the character for her and what happens to the character, and I felt so bad. And we were even whispering, my sister and I were whispering, and she read our lips and figured out who it was. So it was like completely unintentionally spoiling and trying not to spoil it for her, but we ended up spoiling it for her. So I felt really bad, so I'm really sorry. And another instance, I pretty much almost spoiled The Last Days Volume 4 of Miss Marvel for my friend. She was on Volume 2 and I had gotten to Volume 4. And then I was just talking on and on about how great it was and then pretty much almost spoiled it for her. So I get carried away and get caught up. And even though I hate spoilers and I try not to spoil things, it happens and I apologize. But I felt so bad. So bad. I'm sorry. Question number 6 is the golden braid. Pick a book with social issues that impacted or touched your life. And this I chose First Date by Kristen McGee. It seems an odd one to pick because the premise of this book is a bunch of girls competing to be the prom date for the president's son on this American Idol-esque TV show. But what it kind of turned out to be was almost a biblical story of Esther retelling. And I really liked how she took the story of Esther and put it in our media-filled modern-day world. Now, the producer of this show that our main character, Addie, is on doesn't like Christians and doesn't like church people and has just this distaste for people who have a faith and have a religion. And Addie is kind of torn between hiding it so she doesn't get picked on and abused for it and standing up for herself. But standing up for herself could make it worse for her, so she's kind of torn between standing up for her faith and hiding her faith. But what I really liked about this book is she ends up sitting down with the producer and finding out what happened to him that makes him dislike Christians. And she, instead of telling him, "You're wrong, we're not all like that, you can't judge us by those few things," she actually just apologized that those things happened to him. And she didn't tell him he was wrong or he was silly for thinking about, but she sympathized with him and encouraged him and apologized that they had even happened to him. And he kind of saw what he should have seen from the beginning in people with that faith background. And he saw that in Addie, and nothing amazing happened with that, but it was just that grace of sitting down with somebody and discussing and talking without forcing them to like you, forcing them to accept your beliefs or likewise, but just sitting down and really talking and discussing and building those relationships with people rather than turning them into projects. So that was really interesting, and what I liked about that was it was made for this age group for today's world. So it took that beautiful story of Esther and made it very applicable for today's world. Well, I was tagged by Melanie to do this tag, but she has pretty much tagged everybody else I thought who would like to do this tag. So if you are a fan of Malanie Dickerson and would like to do this tag, then I consider you guys tagged. So please leave your thoughts and comments down below in the comment section. I'd love to hear from you guys. And this is your last week to include some questions in my Q&A video. I'll leave the link for that announcement video that you guys can go check out and leave your questions down below. It is my 1 year on BookTube, and I'm very thankful for all of you that follow and support me. So as always, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!